Folks, welcome back. I'm Rhino7. Today is day 40 of reading 10 comics every day until I've read every single DC comic. Let's get right into it today. The first comic I read today was Whiz Comics number 11. Here we see Billy Batson get approached by his boss, the radio news guy, who tells him that he wants Billy to enroll in college and inspect the football team because it is now being coached by a former criminal. So Billy does an exam to get into college. He cheats on the exam by half calling upon Shazam, which is kind of cool. This is cool. I don't know if this happens again. I'm pretty sure this is the first time this happened. I don't remember this happening in any other issues. But he half calls upon Shazam by whispering, which is a thing he can do. He whispers Shazam, which half calls upon Captain Marvel, who appears behind him as a ghost and tells him what answers to put down. Which is interesting, because it kind of implies that Shazam is that Captain Marvel is a different person, but I know they're not. It's a little, I feel like the writers didn't think too hard about it, but I digress. Moving on, Billy goes, and he gets accepted into school, and he gets, hazed by sort of the big men on campus. They sort of haze him. They take him to, this skull house, and they hit him a bunch. And they take him and the other freshmen to the train tracks and they strap them down to scare them about the train. But the train's actually going to go on the other track. But then the lever gets stuck, so the train's actually going on this track that all the freshmen are tied down to. And then Billy obviously transforms into Shazam, puts the train on the other track, saves everyone without anyone noticing, and they all accept the freshmen into their group. With this, Billy becomes the water boy for the football team, and he doesn't really do much investigating, I feel like. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. He discovers that the coach is, in fact, yes, a criminal, and he's also a gambler, so he's doing gambling on these sports games, and he is making it so that his team is going to throw the sports game, but he can't let the team know about that, right? He can't tell them, I'm going to make you throw this game. So he plans to drug them. He puts, some drug in their water that's going to make them, be tired during the game. So Billy replaces the water with normal water. And then during the game, the coach, I guess, anticipated something like this happening. So he has a bunch of other plans to, take out his own team. He has them get slingshot in the eye. There's a bunch of stuff that happens. Eventually, the entire team is unable to play, and the other coach, the referee or something, is guess I have to call off the game. Billy steps in, goes Shazam, becomes Captain Marvel, says, hey, I'll play for the whole team. They let him do so, and he wins, and the gamblers don't get paid. And that's pretty much it. There's no real, full resolution. They don't, we don't see why. We don't really, I don't think we see the coach get arrested or anything, but, yeah. It was a pretty good comic. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I don't have much to say about it, though. Moving on to WoW Comics number 1. The focus of this comic is Mr. Scarlet, who is a lawyer by day, vigilante by night. Kind of like Daredevil, but not blind. And he's also red, just like Daredevil. I don't have much to say about this specific issue, but I think the premise is cool. Moving on to Action Comics number 32. I did really like this one. Sort of a similar premise to an older Superman issue. Gambling, right? Actually, also, gambling was the Shazam thing. Is there any more gambling in here? There's also gambling in Green Lantern. Yeah. Okay, so there's 3 gambling stories today, which is cool. Anyways, back to this. Right, so there's a secret gambling operation. Obviously, at this time in America, gambling is illegal. They can't do that, right? But there's this secret place. I forget what it's called, but it's a house where they do gambling. And, some guy is about to kill himself. Superman saves him. The guy explains, I was going to kill myself because I lost all my money at this secret gambling operation. Clark goes to the mayor and says, let's investigate this place. Mayor goes down with him. Turns out, not a gambling place. Clark investigates some more. Turns out the mayor is in on it, but doesn't want to be anymore. So Clark and Lois go together to investigate, but Lois gets drugged somehow. They get separated. No, they get kicked out. They get pushed away at the door. Lois goes on her own into disguise, and then they find out she's with the press, and they capture her and they drug her to like make her forget everything that's ever happened. She has no memory anymore. Superman does mental hypnosis to save her. He can do that now. He does it twice in the story. He does mental hypnosis, which I guess is cool. It's interesting. It's a power that he has now. I think Golden Age, Silver Age, they were just kind of giving him a bunch of bullshit powers, and I feel like this is the first time that's happened, but I know it's gonna happen more down the line, probably in a bit. He does that. He stops the gambling. He stops the gambling. He uses a crypto ray gun he made to take pictures. So it's basically just a camera, but he calls it a crypto ray gun. Crypto ray gun. Right, crypto ray gun. So we can project stuff onto the walls. It takes pictures and then projects them onto walls. And he obviously saves Lois with the hypnosis or whatever. He saves another little kid with the hypnosis. Right, the mayor was in on it because his son had been given the mind wiping drug by the gambler guy, and so Superman saves the mayor's son, so the mayor is able to have the gambler guy arrested and have the gambling operation shut down. Superman uses the pictures and gives them to Lois, and then she can write a story. Okay, that's Action Comics number 32. I really enjoyed this one. It's a lot better than the older gambling Superman thing. I don't remember what issue that was, but that was basically just Superman discovering gambling and then smashing a bunch of gambling operations. I don't remember what issue that was, but it's one of them. I think it was one of the earlier ones. I think it was Action Comics. No, I'm pretty sure it was Action Comics. Anyway, moving on. At Adventure Comics number 58, we have the death of Fang Gao. Now, if you don't know who Fang Gao is, he's been around for a while, let me tell you. He has been around since, I feel like, New Fun number 1, the first DC comic. I feel like. I'm not sure about that. He didn't make his first appearance until New Fun number 12, I believe. Which might have been More Fun Comics by then. I think it was More Fun Comics by then. But he was there in number 12. That was his first official appearance, but he had been like in the background of Barry O'Neill beforehand. He's a Barry O'Neill villain. And after, we're in 1941 now, I believe. This is 1941. This is January 1941, actually. So it's been, since February 1935? So it's been a good 6 years of Fang Gao. He's probably one of the oldest DC characters at this point, right? Okay, I'm supposed to be editing right now, but I just wanted to show you this. If you look at my League of Comic Geeks, which I have specifically for this, I don't think you can see that, but he is actually the third most appearing character so far. I have this League of Comic Geeks account specifically for this Reading Every DC Comic. So, it's pretty cool. He's the third most appearing character. Number 1 is Barry O'Neill. Number 2 is Pep Morgan, which is unexpected. Anyways, back to the video. One of the longest lasting, he's been around for a while, right? He started in New Fun, he been transferred over to Adventure. He's been around for a while, big villain. Obviously very racist film, so I don't talk about it much, but it is a big thing that he died. Also, his death was very anticlimactic. He died in the first 2 pages. They were gonna execute him and bury him at sea. He actually his death is fucking hilarious. His death is hilarious. Never mind. I don't care if it's anticlimactic because it's hilarious. He planned to fake his suicide with a ring that would kill him, and then when they gave him a burial at sea because they were on a boat, the water would revive him. But when they throw his coffin in the water to give him a burial at sea, he hits a mine and explodes, which means and that's how he dies. This is his death. This is his last appearance, I believe. Maybe not his last appearance, but it's his death. And I think that's a really funny way to die. Moving on, we have All American Comics number 22. More gambling. Oh yeah, I really like the cover of this one. I'll put it on screen. So this isn't the cover of All American Comics 22. To be clear, this is the cover of specifically the Green Lantern section, but really like it. Okay, I remember now. It was a boxing match. There was a boxing match going on, and the coach of one of the boxers had been paying the other boxers his guy went against to take dives. But the new opponent is the heavyweight champion of the world, and he's not going to take a dive. He's honest. So the coach first tries to have him killed, fails because Green Lantern saves him, then tries to have his wife kidnapped and threatens her life if he doesn't take a dive. Green Lantern's like, okay, go the full 12 rounds. By the 12th round, I'll have your wife, and then you can not throw. So Green Lantern saves his wife, comes back during the 12th round. The boxer's about to go down. He sees his wife in the crowd. He gets up. He wins. Boom, boom. And that's Green Lantern. Also, the street they take his wife when they kidnap her is called Ransom Street, which is a little on the nose, I think. They could have come up with something better than that. Moving on to Crack Comics number 9. I don't have much to say, but Red Torpedo fights some Nazis, and Black Condor stops an attempted murderer. Detective Comics number 47. This is sort of the first appearance of the Batcave, I feel like. It's not the Batcave, technically, but it is like, there's like a trapdoor underneath a barn that Bruce goes in, and there's like a hallway, like a tunnel, a secret tunnel, basically, that leads to Wayne Manor. And, that's not really the Batcave, that's not the Batcave at all, but it's the closest thing we've gotten to the Batcave so far. Basically, in this issue, Batman fixes a dysfunctional rich family. The father, doesn't really hang out with the son much because he's too focused on business. The mother doesn't want the daughter marrying someone who's poor, even though she is in love with someone who isn't rich. So, there's this whole thing. Batman does whatever, blah, blah, blah. He helps them figure out their issues. The daughter gets to marry who she wants. The son gets to hang out with his dad. Boom. Future Comics number 40. I'm not talking about that shit. It's the worst part of my day. Flash Comics 13. Flash. Oh, right. There's a mine. There's a mine in the Wild West. Flash's buddy discovers a big silver vein in the mine. Flash's buddy gets injured. So Flash protects the mine from some thugs and the crooked sheriff. And he stops the crooked sheriff, and he has him fired and proven to be guilty. And the sheriff gets replaced. And he saves the friend's mine, and the friend gets to be rich. Sort of reminds me of the oldest New Fun issues with the Wild West stuff. It was fun. It was fun. Moving on to Hit Comics number 7. I have to talk about this one. I have to talk about Neon the Unknown because this is the greatest thing I've ever read. This is the best thing. I'm not even kidding. I gave this one 5 stars just for this Neon the Unknown story because it's the greatest story I've ever read. Not the greatest story I've ever read. The greatest story I've ever read during this journey, easily. 4 Tibetan monks. There are these 4 Tibetan monks. One of them disappears somewhere in the story, by the way. It becomes 3 at some point, and they don't explain what happens to it, but there's 4 of them at the start. They use their mind powers, and they look at a globe. They stand around a globe, all 4 of them, and they use their mind powers to mind control the president of some unnamed country to start a war. So the president starts a war. Neon the Unknown hears about this, and he goes up to the president, and he's like, hey, why are you doing this? The president's like, I don't know, man, I don't know. Then, at that moment, the Tibetan monks get back to their controlling stuff, and they start, making him, and then he gets up and he's like, hey, I know why, because I hate that country, and he just has a complete flip. So Neon the Unknown is like, oh, I know what's going on. He grabs the president, flies into the sky, and starts dragging him around the planet until he, gets a signal or something, and then he finds the Tibetan monks. There's 4 of them in one panel, and the next there's 3, so that's the thing that happens. He starts fighting them. He's a man with unknown powers, by the way, which I feel like is just an excuse for the writers to not specify what powers so they can do whatever they want. But he discovers their plan, and then he gets in a mind match with 3 of them, because the 4th one has disappeared. Unexplained, by the way, not mentioned. But he uses his mind powers, and they have a mind fight, and he wins, and their minds fucking explode. Completely explode. And it is... You gotta read it. You gotta read it. It's the greatest thing I've ever read. Please. Hit Comics number 7, Neon the Unknown. Literally the first story, I think. It's amazing. It's not the first story, but it's in there somewhere. It's so good. I love it. I love it. This is my favorite day of this journey because I read that, and I loved it. And I'm gonna reread that at some point. That's my favorite comic of all time. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's my favorite comic of all time. Anyways, that's all I have to say for today. We had 10 great comics today. We had a lot of gambling stuff. We had some Neon the Unknown, some wacky stuff. Tomorrow, we'll get some Dr. Fate, which I'm excited for. But, other than that, thank you all for watching. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!